Welcome back to Unpacked Cardboard, where cards, collecting, and business come together. Today, we're talking about a topic that creates a lot of discussion within the hobby: the difference between collecting and investing. At first glance, they may seem like the same thing. After all, both collectors and investors buy cards. Both follow the market. Both enjoy finding great additions to their collections. And both hope their cards increase in value over time. But while collecting and investing often overlap, they're actually very different mindsets. Let's start with collecting. Collectors buy cards because they enjoy them. Maybe it's a favorite Pokémon. Maybe it's a favorite player. Maybe it's a specific set they loved as a kid. Collectors often have an emotional connection to the cards they own. The value matters, but it isn't always the primary reason for the purchase. For example, a collector might buy a card simply because they love the artwork. They may buy a card because it completes a set. They may buy a card because it reminds them of a special memory. Even if that card never increases in value, they're still happy owning it. That's the mindset of a collector. The enjoyment comes from ownership. Now, let's look at investing. Investors approach cards differently. Their primary goal is usually financial return. Instead of asking, "Do I like this card?" they're often asking, "Will this card be worth more in the future?" Investors study supply and demand. They analyze population reports. They track market trends. They look for opportunities where they believe the market has undervalued a card or product. Their focus is less on emotional attachment and more on potential growth. For an investor, a card is often viewed as an asset. For a collector, a card is often viewed as a treasure. Neither approach is right or wrong. They're simply different. Here's where things get interesting. Most people in the hobby are actually somewhere in the middle. They're collector investors. They collect cards they enjoy while also paying attention to value. Maybe they buy a favorite player's rookie card because they love the player, but they also believe the card could increase in value. Maybe they collect Charizard cards because they enjoy them, but they also recognize that Charizard has historically been one of the strongest Pokémon brands in the hobby. This combination of passion and financial awareness is extremely common. However, problems can arise when collectors and investors confuse their goals. For example, a collector may buy a card because they genuinely love it, then panic when the market price drops. But if the original reason for buying was enjoyment, the short-term value shouldn't matter as much. On the other hand, an investor may become emotionally attached to a card and refuse to sell when their investment goals have been reached. That's where emotions can interfere with decision-making. Understanding your reason for purchasing a card can help avoid these situations. Before every purchase, ask yourself, am I buying this because I love it? Am I buying this because I think it will appreciate? Or am I buying it for both reasons? There's no wrong answer, but knowing the answer helps set expectations. Another important difference is time horizon. Collectors often think in years or decades. Some never plan to sell. Investors typically think about future returns and may have specific exit strategies. They know when they want to buy, and they know when they want to sell. Collectors focus on building collections. Investors focus on building portfolios. Again, neither approach is better. The hobby needs both. Collectors create demand. Investors provide liquidity. Together, they help the market function. At the end of the day, cards can be many things. They can be memories. They can be artwork. They can be history. They can be investments. They can be business opportunities. And they can be sources of enjoyment. The key is understanding why you're participating in the hobby. Because once you know whether you're collecting, investing, or somewhere in between, you'll make better decisions and enjoy the hobby even more. Thank you for joining us on Unpacked Cardboard. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and keep building. This is Unpacked Cardboard. Cards. Collecting. Business.